Bwana Yesu asifiwe. We thank God for this moment. Bible study is not actually evangelistic. It's slowly. So understand. And we will study the book of James, chapter 3. We will study the book of James, chapter 3, from verse 1 to 12. And because of time, put us there so that we move on together in a good pace. If you don't have a busy schedule out there, just relax here. Bwana asifiwe. Okay, there is something I like most. Relaxing in the house of God. No tension at all. That's the most peaceful place. Just relax. And let's move together. James chapter 3, we will study 1 to 12. It's about the tongue. My brethren, let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. For we all stumble in many things. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man, able to bridle the whole body. Indeed, we put baits in horses' mouths that they may obey us, and we turn their whole body. Look also at sheep. Although they are so large and are driven by fierce weeds, they are turned by a very small rudder wherever the pilot desires. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and it boasts great things. See how great a forest a little fire kindles. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body, and it sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hell, and it is set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea has been tamed by mankind. Now a turning point. But no man can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus, no spring yields both salt water and fresh. No spring yields both salt water and fresh. Sasa, See, we have now understood that one very clear. Now let us digest. Let us now digest. This book of James and that area, that section, I love it. And I like it. And it struck my mind, this area, hapo tumesoma, somewhere in September 2013. And I have really shared that area many times with the other people and with myself. So I have tried to ask myself many questions about that area of the tongue and to go try to dig deeper. And it has also made me trying also wanting to study about it as a brother and as a sister. When we are talking, najaribu kukuangalia na kukupima na niangalia ulimi yangu na yako tunapelekana mpaka wapi na ni wapi tutaanza kuashania. Na tena niangalie hiyo ulimi maneno yake na matendo yake na nini na maisha yake inakaaje, nione kama zinaambatana, in a way of trying to study. That is why in the Bible study we would have some views. What did you understand this area? How did I understand it? And then where is the compromise? So that we can say within our congregation, hii maneno hatutaki. Within our family, hii maneno hatutaki. Within our working environment, hii maneno hatutaki. A perfect man is being measured through the area of the tongue. Perfect man is one who is never at fault on what he says. But you know, as men, and let us also include women there, all of us, we are measured by many things, how good we are. I'm a perfect person because he has been a driver for the last 30 years, has never done an accident. A perfect teacher because all children have come out with A's. A good father because all his children are grown up and are working. A very good man in the neighborhood because. Now, narrow down, you remove the things of actions, you bring the things of saying with the mouth. This doctor, who is very good, seems perfect, he treated you in first instance. The dose he gave you, you never went to another doctor. And the sickness has never recurred. And the condition went. But the words he uttered, although you got well, when you remember them, you almost become sick again. So you don't remember the sickness, but you still remember the words. Which did not come from the hands and the injection and the brain, they only came from the tongue. When I was in Form 2 and I was in a day school and I was in a rented house because the school was far away from home and was not a boarding, I went to repair my jiko. Yeah, the jiko. And a man came He was a friend to the blacksmith. And looked at me, a young man in form, I think I was third term form 1 or first term form 2. We started talking. The advice that man gave me, and he did not give me even 2 shillings or 5 to help me pay for the jiko. He only spoke words of advice to me. Up to today, is that what years? That what? Is that what? Who can remember is that what years? The advice he gave me that time to today, 1990s. 90 what? Is 90 what? Where are we? I'm now gauging whether we are together. Is 90 what? Simuniuliza ni 90 what? That the advice he gave me that time was 1997. Not 97. 1987. 1987. That's 5 years. Oh, thank you. I still remember his name today. Etagwo Gashaba. Somebody Gashaba. In kasimoro notebook ili ya kukata makaratasi ya kitabu unajifanya uko na notebook. If I go home and look for it, I will see it. The advice he told me, he gave me, ilinisukuma mbele. Hiyo advice. Nikiwa day school with all the freedom. Na nyumba ya kukodesha na chakula na kukaa hapo kwa plot tunaenda shule. The advice he gave me molded me nikamaliza high school, and that made me among the guys that made it to university. I was one of them. The advice he gave me made me so strict. When I went to university, I gave my life to Christ. The advice he gave me made me, when I finished, I did not shun any job I came across. Earned me a job and pushed me that today I have been an employer for the last 17 years. That man, I pray for him. I don't know whether he is still alive. All I know is that he told me, although I have never gone by an aeroplane, my daughter is in Italy, is a nun, and she is in Italy. Yani huyo mzee miaka hiyo na alikuwa na daughter in Italy. I still remember the words of the mouth. But ile jiko nilitengenezewa na yule alinitengenezea iliisha, na hiyo maneno ya kutengeneza na kulipana pesa ilikwisha. And cannot be traced. But the words from the mouth of a man. So, a good, perfect teacher produces aids, but the words you utter with the mouth to the students. A good neighbor, but the words you utter to the children of the neighbors. Mdomo, perfect man. Tongue makes the whole body imbalance. That is another key word. A sheep moves and can be turned. Man tames animals. And we are told tongue makes the whole body of a person imbalance, lose balance. You know why it can lose balance? I want to go to the tarmac. When I am on the way, I saw Kamau. And I also see Mama Jane. But because of ile maneno tunasemesanaga, it makes me change direction. Tusikutane. Either kwa sababu ile maneno nilisema anatakaga kunipiga, ama kwa sababu ya ile maneno yeye anaogeaga sitaki kuyasikia. Tongue can make somebody lose balance and make somebody imbalance. Maneno tu. Even you can now remember. Fulani hata tukikutana, sitakagi mimi tumalize dakika 5. One, anakuwaga very smart. Mavazi, I admire. That man is smart with a suit and tie. Very smart. Nikiangalia kiatu yake mchipi vile amesimama, nice. I admire the posture. Lakini maneno matope. Now you see, all other things are good, but what comes out is not desirable. And it is coming from a central place within the body. Coming from a central place within the body. Then we are told, and this one made me look in many versions of the Bible. The tongue is. Who has a Bible that is saying, tongue is like a fire? Like a fire. That place we read. The one we read there tongue is a fire. Which version says is like a fire? Tumepata? Who has one saying is like a fire? Like a fire. A fire. Yes. I'm looking for the one which is saying like a fire. So far, we have not gotten. So we proceed with that level. Paka hapo hatujapa. Paka hapo. Nani amepata? Hata kwa Google hajapata. I have also tried to do research, looking for that one. I thought I would complete my research here. I have been looking for one that says like a fire. Not because I wanted to be like a fire. It's because I tried to make myself a student of trying to study the tongue. Okay? And I studied all my versions in my house are not giving me like a fire. Like a fire. Have you gotten one? I was looking for and the tongue is a fire. I was trying to make it look simpler, not so tough on us. But I did not get one which is making it simple. Because like ni kufananisha. Like ni kufananisha. But there is no word is like a fire. Ni kama moto. Imesema ni moto. Ni moto. Is a fire. I was looking for the one that says is like a fire. Dio nione sio kali hivyo nikakosa. Na sasa haujanipatia. Hakuna mahali unapata. So then I will then finish my study of trying to look for one which is like a fire and settle down to the ones you have and I have, which says tongue is a fire. And we proceed from there. And I complete my research of looking one that makes it a bit simpler. So know that you are having fire within yourself. Your tongue is not like a fire, it's a fire. So everybody here, akona kiberiti, na majani, na imekauka, na ikichapwa hivyo ni moto. Kila mtu ako hapo, na petroli kama ile ya tanka inaagukaga, polisi wanakuja kuzuia mtu asikaribie, asipige simu, isifanye sparks, asivute sigara, asifanye chochote, isilipuke. So kila mtu akona moto yake hapo. You have a fire. Moto. The tongue is a fire. A world of evil. Dunia ya dhambi. World of evil. This tongue corrupts the whole person. Corrupts. The whole person. Sets whole course of one's life on fire. Yaani, hebu jiangalie na uangalie mwenzako, lakini ukimwangalia ujue hata wewe kile unamwangalia akonacho ukonacho. Ati your neighbor, your friend has a fire within him or herself, has a world of evil, and has something that can collapse his or her whole person and can set the whole course of one's life on fire. Na hii ulimi, tongue is set on fire by hell. The tongue is set on fire by hell. That to me tells me, ulimi na hell, the tongue and the hell, if you say this is tongue and this is hell, they are as close as nose and eye, or nose and lip. Tongue and hell. Now, are we understanding the tongue? Are we moving on together this side about the tongue? Are we moving on together about the tongue? Are we moving on about the tongue? The unfortunate thing and the fortunate thing is that kila mtu akona yake. Hakuna kusema yangu, yako, angani yako, angani. Kila mtu akona ulimi yake. Now, this tongue has positives and negatives. The tongue praises God the Father. It makes praises. The tongue. In simplicity, the tongue tells God, I thank you. I love you, Jehovah. You are my Redeemer. It is the tongue that goes and tells mzazi wako, ninakupenda dadi, wewe ni mama wangu, ni wewe ulizea, ulituzaa, ni wewe ulitulea, ni wewe unaedaga na hiyo ulimi unaambia your boss, my boss, I want to thank you so much since I came to this company. You have been promoting me, you have trained me. It is that tongue that goes to tell your pastor, you are my father. Thank you, daddy, you have ministered to me, you are my spiritual father, blah, blah, the tongue, eh? Hiyo na imesema positives. Then ni kama it is like ni kama mawe ya toshi, iko na positive na negative. Sasa tumekuja side ya negative ndio complete the circuit. Sasa hii tongue it curses men, it can curse, na ndio inasemaga na ogemuona na vile anajipanyaga. Sasa iko side nyingine ikianza kucomplete the circuit. Hata mzazi wetu ni vile tu alituzaa, lakini hata sijui anakaa namna gani. Ndio inakasi huyo mwalimu na vile anajifanyaga anatufundisha. Hiyo ulimi inaongea matope na ndio inaedaga inaanza kukashifu huyo pastor, anatuambiaga, anafanyaga anganini. Sasa hiyo tongue unaona negative, na kila mtu akona yake. Now the question is taming this tongue. In verse, if you go back in the book of James, we are studying James chapter 3 verse 1 to 12. But I want us to go back a little bit to James, the same book of James, chapter 1 and verse 19. James chapter 1 verse 19. In my way of trying to understand this tongue, which we are about to finish what we are studying now, my dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone, excluding none, involving everybody, everyone should be quick to Shika sikio yako namna hii. Quick to. Quick to. Haya, number 2. Slow to. Fanya hivi. Slow to. And slow to become. Akili utaguza wapi? Roho. Now I tried to study this verse. Who has one ear? If somebody has one ear has one, this one hakuna, will be considered medically something has a problem, isn't it? It's a deformity, it's a challenge. The fact that has no the second ear, or the second ear if it is not functioning. So we are not against anyone whose ear has a medical condition, cannot hear. Are we together? But who has 2 mouths? Who has 2? If anyone has 2, again, is medically a problem. Or one mouth inside has 2 tongues. It's also medically a problem. So I was asking myself, na Mungu ukatupea masikio 2 mdomo moja. So if we were to give them equal work, which one should do more? The ears, if it is given each ear 1%, then the hearing should be hearing 2% when the mouth is talking 1%. If the ear and the mouth are given equal load, and this load is 1 kilogram. So 1 kilogram to go to the mouth, and 1 kilogram to this ear, and 1 kilogram to this ear. Then the ears would be having 2 kilograms when mouth has 1 kilogram. I'm trying to simplify to bring to the concept of us trying to understand this Bible about having 2 ears with 1 mouth. That is why we go back there and see. Quick to hear. Quick to hear because 2 ears. But when speaking, slow to speak. So we should hear more than we speak. Look at our tongues when we are in meetings. Do you first of all allow others to speak so that you listen to them, and when you open your mouth to speak, everybody will keep quiet and say, do like this. I'm not saying I am good, but some years back when I was in college, we met as brethren and we were discussing the accounts of Christian Union, the whole Christian Union. Then there was a lot of argument. And I am seated there. I think God was training me. Then I listened to everybody. Wakaogea wengine baka mate karibu ikwishe. And because of my background in training, I was raising up my hand, and I was not getting an opportunity. When almost all hands had been exhausted, I was given the opportunity. And the person who gave me the opportunity, you know him. Today is a reverend, still here in Thika. We were in college. Then I thank God because I got the opportunity to make everybody know that I am there saying something. Then I said, all this thing you have been talking about, the first 3 minutes when I got his accounts. And therefore, let everybody listen to me. I don't know where those words of let everybody listen to me came from. It is from the Lord. Because where mom is seated, I saw the college chaplain turned like this. Reverend Moria looked at me like this. Then I said, I am a student in this department. I'm in this faculty. It is like now Paul commanding everybody. And when I told them no money has been lost, look at the this and that and the other, everybody was in relations, and from there with the I then asked God, me, what have I done? What do I have to deserve all this? Me, I was only speaking the truth. Me, I was only speaking exactly how it is. I was not looking for anything. I was only talking what it is. When I was studying this one, is when the Lord now reveals to me, when you listen, you get first of all to know all the loopholes. When you listen, you get to know where all the loopholes are. Where are all the shortcomings? And when you now stand to address, you speak with knowledge, with wisdom, with insight. Having listened with 2 ears, this ear have listened 5 people. This one has listened to 5 people. You have listened to 10 people, and now you are using one mouth to tell the outcome. So, with the mouth, then as we wind up, we are told that where we were heading, verse 12, this ought not to be so. All what we have come down about the tongue, we are told. Have you gone there? Verse 12. A fig tree, my brothers and sisters, cannot bear olive, and grapevine cannot bear figs, nor can a salty spring produce sweet water. If we, for example, go to verse 9, let's go to verse 9, for example, and come down slowly. With that we bless our God and Father, and with that we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. The same tongue. Then out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Verse 10b. Verse 10b. My brethren, you know, this one is talking just that I would start here and talk. My brethren, hiyo maneno yote tumesema hapo juu kuhusu ulimi, na hiyo kiungo vile ilivyo, haistahili kuwa hivyo. Ndugu zangu na dada zangu, haya mambo yote tumezungumzia hapo juu yanahusiana na ulimi. Hayo yote tafadhalini hayastahili kuwa hivyo. Please, my brethren, these things, we have talked about how the tongue is, and it behaves and it does, ought not to be so. So, hiyo ni X kubwa kama ile tunakutaka county government ya Kiambu imeweka kwa ukuta in red or blue or whichever color. Haistahili kuwa hivyo. Haistahili kuwa hivyo. Ni hivyo tu. Na kila mtu ako na yake. Kila mtu ako na yake. Hii ulimi inafanya bwana na bibi kukosana. Brother and a sister kukosana. Ndugu na ndugu kukosana. Sister na sister kukosana. Yes, tuangalie, tumeokoka ndio, lakini nijiangalie mimi na ndugu yangu, mbona tunaleteana kadeli kiligebe pilipili. Na tukitulia, tuliza boli mpira, tuliza uwanja ni mdogo, ulimi. Tusemezane. Kwanza tusikizane. Ongea umalize. Nikitega sikio nisikize kwanza. Na mimi nikiongea na wewe tafadhali sikiza. Alafu tutafute compromise mahali tutakubaliana. Otherwise tutapigana. And you are my brother. Then finally tuende kwa the same father, the same mother hapo nyumbani. If my father and my mother, who is also your mother and your father, also that one ambayo haistahili kuwa hivyo, they will not also solve our problems being their children. Let me repeat that one. Mimi na wewe tukikosana alafu tuende kwa our father and our mother who wow. If they also have a tongue like that one, hawatafanya tusikizane. Now, I learned to do this with my tongue. I asked my tongue first, biling hapa bere kabisa, say sorry. Biling hapa bere kabisa to say sorry. Then I am saying, mimi mwenyewe ndio I try to see whether I can tame my tongue. Nikajifanyia ka statement kanasema hivi. The person who is wise is always the first one to say sorry, even if sio yeye amekosea. The person who is wise always says sorry first, even if it's not the one who is on the wrong. So, anytime tukikutana na wewe na tukosana na niseme sorry, furahi sana, lakini enda ukijiuliza kama nilitumia hiyo maxim, yeah? I be quick to say sorry. So that vita isisoge mbele sana. Na utafurahi sababu nimekuambia sorry, lakini labda makosa ilikuwa wewe. But nilisema sorry mbele. To try and cool down the atmosphere of fighting. Let's conclude with this one. Proverbs 18 and verse 21. Proverbs 18 and verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Proverbs 18 and verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the let us read it. 1, 2, 3. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Naanza kujiuliza. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those who love it will eat its fruit. So, what fruits? Good fruits will come from the tongue. And therefore, with that, I consider myself a student who has not yet accomplished the course of studying the tongue. But, summary is a fire within you, a world of evil that corrupts the whole person, sets the whole course of one's life on fire. Tongue is set on fire by hell. Animals have been tamed by man. Tongue has not been tamed by man. Perfect man is one who is never at fault on what he says. The tongue is a restless evil, is full of deadly poison. It has positive and negative. It pleases the Lord. And on the other side, can curse. In James 1:19, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Therefore, let us moderate our tongue. And that is the end of our Bible study for today. But before I sit down, your neighbor, na wewe umesikiaje? And you know utamwambia hivyo na hiyo ulimi pia. Hebu mwambie. Thank you so much. God bless you. Asanteni sana.
Let us appreciate him.